Hi everyone, Martin here and welcome to The In The Loop. On this episode we're going to talk about Philip Webb and William Morris and Standen House and how the PicoDrone has ended up with a new box. It all begins with me getting a parcel in the post.
I got this parcel from Patrick Bartmus, and inside here is a knob. This is a knob of epic cast aluminium proportions. This is a knob that goes on sort of like a hyperdrone, and it has to do something massive. And there's like a little silicon rubber mold version. He's also sent me a tape of some of his music. I haven't got a tape player, so I'm going to have to get a tape player before I can even start with that. And then in here, this is the main event. In here, he sent me a piece of plywood. No, he sent me these absolutely incredible William Morris inspired veneers. He's pyrographed them, and then I think he's put tung oil on there. So these veneers, this is an experimental one, I think. Just look at them. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scan them so you actually got a really good image. These veneers are so beautiful. And the intention for these is that they go onto the PicoDrone. So they're going to be going around the outside of the PicoDrone.
So Patrick didn't randomly send them to me. We did actually have a discussion beforehand. And he said, I want to make something for the drone. I've got these veneers, why don't I pyrograph something? And I just that weekend been to Standen House, and it occurred to me that the PicoDrone has this kind of arts and crafts kind of feel about it, because it's got this kind of plastic top, but I always wanted it to have a wooden base. That's why I made this. It's made out of a wooden pallet. It kind of reflects that thing that William Morris was after, which is this kind of rejection of industrialisation, about bringing arts and crafts back into the home. Philip Webb had that whole arts and craft movement in his mind when he was when he was architecting Standen House. And in some ways, it was a bit of a no-brainer for me to say, well, Patrick, can you do William Morris? So I sent him a couple of pictures of some of the wallpaper, and this is what came back.
So here's the wrap. I have these beautiful veneers, but they're actually just slightly taller than the drone. So I'm going to have to cut them off the bottom, shave the bottom off. But I don't want to do that. Also, I've got a hole in the bottom of the PicoDrone, because this wood was actually from a pallet, wooden pallet. It was going to be like a wooden pallet thing. But Patrick sent me this plywood. So what I'm thinking to do is to remake the box for the PicoDrone from this plywood and then glue those on. It's got to be the way forwards. Sometimes things don't go as planned, so I've cut those to make this box, which is great. But I've even found some bits for the corners, which is great. But then I went and glued, well, it's easy to see here, I glued these on flush, which means when you glue the end on, there's going to be a hole there. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe make that into a chamfer or something and make it look beautiful. But I'm getting there.
Here's a little montage of the glue up process. It was actually quite stressful to think I'm taking somebody's work and I'm going to take a Stanley knife to it and chop it open and try and glue it on. I actually had a call with Patrick before I got started just to settle my nerves. The disaster did strike on the dragonfly. I was really keen not to cut through its wings, and then when I was cutting it for the end, it actually split. But in the final glue up, I think I covered it over. Patrick actually included my initials on the PicoDrone, but he forgot to do his own. So thank you very much for watching, and thank you to Patrick Bartmus for all his hard work on these veneers. It's really kind of claimed a little part of the PicoDrone, which is just great. The next video is going to be about the sort of multiplexing aspects of the PicoDrone. If you've got any questions or any comments, please put them below or on some of the other videos, because it's your comments that will help me to really shape these in terms of answering your questions. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time on the Inner Loop.